Hello everybody and welcome to your week 4 video. This week our focus is going to be to talk about the Faster Way mindset. The posts are going to have information about how the scale is a liar, and we're also going to be talking about alcohol. Now in my video today, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the scale and why we don't use that as a tool to monitor our progress on the Faster Way, because I talked about that a lot last week. So we're going to talk about the Faster Way mindset and about alcohol. So let's talk about what the Faster Way mindset is. It's this idea of progress over perfection, right? I've talked about that before. And what does that mean? It means that when you have a big goal that you're trying to reach, whether it's about fat loss, whether it's about getting stronger, sleeping better, whatever that is, you're not going to see those results immediately, right? It's going to take time. You kind of have bigger goals. And so it's consistency. It's that progress over perfection mentality that is going to get us there, okay? And so what is consistency? Consistency is following the Faster Way core values most days of the week. We're not perfect. It might even be that you follow the Faster Way core values for the entire 6 weeks, or maybe you can go for 12 weeks or whatever it is, and then something's going to happen. Life's going to happen, right? Something unexpected. Maybe it's a planned vacation. Maybe it's a bunch of stress at work. Could have been COVID that came in March. Okay, something is going to happen in life that's going to veer us off a little bit. But it's having those tools in our tool belt to veer and get us back on track that's going to lead to that consistency and that progress, okay? So our core values are intermittent fasting, focusing on whole food nutrition, tracking our macros, and putting rest first, okay? And there's that pyramid triangle. I think I talked about it in the first week. I'll post it in this video again so that you guys can see it. Nutrition is at the bottom of our pyramid, and that means that's at the core. That's where we start. And many of us, that's not where we've started in the past. For me, working out a lot with cardio workouts and with strength training was my foundation, and nutrition kind of fell in there wherever it could. And that tends to be the way that it is. We think we can eat ourselves out or exercise ourselves out of our diet, and you just can't do that, okay? And it doesn't make you feel any better when you're killing yourself exercising but not feeding your body the fuel that it needs. So our foundation is nutrition, and what falls into nutrition is whole foods, eating whole foods, because remember, our bodies know what to do with those whole foods when we eat them, what muscles and what organs they need to go to. And then also the intermittent fasting. Remember, the benefits of intermittent fasting is that cellular regeneration, okay? Our body can focus on healing itself from the inside out when it's not having to digest food. So by us giving our body time when it's not focusing on digesting food, then we're giving our body that time for cellular regeneration. And then tracking macros is part of that nutrition bottom part of the pyramid, because that ensures that we're getting the right percentages and the right balance for our body of carbs, proteins, and fats, all right? And then right above nutrition comes rest, okay? And I want to talk to you about this for a minute, because going along to how I used to think about working out being the base, sorry, that's my dog, working out being the base of my pyramid, rest was like little at the top. And so it was like, even if I was having even if I didn't sleep well, even if I had a migraine, I would still take myself to the gym and try to run out of that migraine, or run out of being tired, which never worked, okay? And so rest comes second. So if you had a migraine and you just don't have a ton of energy, hold on, no. She's trying to chew a bone. It's really loud. Okay, so if I have a migraine now and I am just drained, or if I tossed and turned and I did not sleep well the night before, and like you're just to that zero, like you have zero energy, like it's not just blah, I don't feel good today, and exercising can get you out of that funk. But if it's like your body is physically exhausted, it's telling you something. It's telling you that it needs rest, okay? And so it's okay not to work out that day. It's okay if you're getting over an illness and you need a couple more days to recuperate. Maybe you choose to do one of the yoga videos or the new like ISO stretch that was a video today. Maybe you choose one of the rest day workouts. Maybe you just focus on being outside and doing some sunlight and getting in some non-aerobic exercise like neat exercises, just getting your steps in, focusing on things like that, okay? But listen to your body above all else. Eventually, when we move into VIP, and when you reach your goals and you're where you want to be as far as your body composition, we learn how to intuitively eat and work out. And that's about listening to our bodies, okay? And that's part of the journey that we're on right now in these first few weeks, is learning exactly what our body needs and why our body needs it, okay? So that's information about the Faster Way mindset, about our core values, and about what consistency is, okay? It's about following those things most days of the week, all right? So now let's talk about alcohol, because I'm sure many of you have questions about like, okay, if you've been really good and you haven't drank since you've started, because we don't recommend that you do, you may be wondering, how do I learn how to incorporate this back in? Sorry about the dog, guys. All right, so alcohol. Let's talk about why we encourage you not to drink during the first 6 weeks that we do the Faster Way. First, it's because we really want you to cleanse your body and your system of all of the toxins that you've been eating and that you've been drinking, okay? So that when you get to the end of the 6 weeks and you start reintroducing things like dairy or gluten or alcohol, you can really see the effects that they're having on your body. So I knew that dairy before the Faster Way kind of gave me stomach issues and made me bloated, and but that wasn't like bad enough for me to avoid the ice cream or, you know, the pizza or whatever every once in a while. But because I was still having dairy maybe once or twice a week, I wasn't fully getting it out of my system. And I would have migraines 1 to 2 times a week. I never made the correlation because it never happened back to back. It was almost like once my body got to a certain point with dairy, then it would get a migraine. So once I got it completely out of my system, and I would say I probably didn't try it for maybe like 12 weeks, so I really had dairy out of my system. Every time I've had it since then, I'm not kidding you, the next morning I wake up with a migraine. So I can see that direct correlation because I had that isolation period where I didn't have it in my diet at all. And then when you add it back in, man, you can tell what it does to your body, okay? So part of the reason why is because alcohol is like a processed food. Sorry guys, it's not a whole food. Even mine. It is a processed food, so your body does treat it like a processed food, like a toxin. And so we really want you to give your body that full 6 weeks to get it out of your system, and then let's start recognizing what it does to your body. The second reason why we encourage you not to drink is because for most of us, we tend to get the munchies when we eat. We tend to lose a little control over maybe tracking or over the things that we're eating. And so it's just easier when you're really trying to start off with a really solid foundation, not to have things that are going to tempt you, all right? And third, it's because we want you to get the best results that you can. And in order to do that, it's important to understand what alcohol does to our bodies, okay? So I'm going to explain it to you. Your body treats alcohol as a processed food, okay? And so remember that first week when we talked about how when you eat whole foods, carbs, like sweet potatoes or like cantaloupe or apples, when you eat protein, like hamburger meat or chicken, when you eat fats like from avocado or coconuts or coconut oil, your body knows what to do with those because they're whole foods. They know where to send the carbs. They know that your muscles need protein. They know where to send the fats so that your body is a well-oiled functioning machine. When your body digests a lot of processed food, it doesn't know what to do with it, and it stores it as fat. Okay, we talked about that the first week. it just doesn't know what to do with it. So it's like, I'm going to store this because I don't know what body part, I don't know what organ would benefit from this. I don't know how a muscle would use this. Okay, so it gets stored as fat. So it's kind of the same but worse for alcohol. So instead of storing the alcohol as fat, it recognizes it as more than just a processed food, but more like a toxin. Like, oh my gosh, this is in our system. We have got to get it out. And so what your body does is anything that you've consumed, any food, any of those other macros, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats that you consume while alcohol is in your system, all of it, even if it's whole foods, gets stored as fat. Because your body is like on high alert. I've got to metabolize this alcohol. I have to get this alcohol out of my system. So it no longer burns stored fat. It no longer burns off the food that you've been eating. It focuses on getting that alcohol out of your system. And it just depends on your body type and how much you've drank, but it can take up to 24 hours for your body to fully get all of that out of your system. And so for up to 24 hours after you've drank, your body could be storing everything you're eating as fat and not able to be that fat burning machine that you've really been training it to be over the past 4 weeks. Okay, so that's just important for you to know what happens when you drink alcohol. That doesn't mean that we think that you should never drink it. Okay, it's your choice. Some of you may not drink at all, and that's fine. And some of you might want to find a way to introduce that back into your lifestyle, and that's okay. It's just like our treat days on Saturday with our donuts or whatever it is that we're choosing to have, because we want this to be a lifestyle that's sustainable to you. But it's important for you to know, if you have this really big goal that you want to meet and you have this time stamp on when you want to meet it, alcohol could be the thing that's getting in the way of you getting to that goal, right? So it's a balance of where you are, what's coming up in your life, and what you have goals for, all right? So I'm going to explain to you a little bit about how alcohol, the food labels on alcohol beverages are liars too. Just like the scale's a liar, those nutrition labels are liars. I am a White Claw fan, right? And the fact that it said it only had 2 grams of carbs on the can was like, whoa, like that had me hooked, and I like the way that it tastes. Unfortunately, that's a lie, and that's not actually how our body metabolizes alcohol. So if you remember back in week 1, carbs and proteins have 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9 calories per gram of fat. Well, alcohol is kind of like the 4th macro. It has 7 calories per gram of alcohol. All right, so it's somewhere in between a carb and a fat. So if I'm going to track White Claws that I like to drink, I can't track them by scanning the can in MyFitnessPal and saying that it only has 2 grams. I have to track it by figuring out that it has 7 calories per gram, all right? And there's an app that you can download on your phone. I think it's called WAG Calc app. And I have a little short video that I've uploaded on YouTube about how you can put your alcohol in there and how you can track it. And so I'll upload it after, or put a link in there, after that. But basically what you're going to want to choose is to track all of the calories that are in the drink that you're having, either as fats or as carbs, all right? And so the way that it works out for 1 can of White Claw is it has 100 calories. And so I put in the calculator that it has 100 calories, and there's a little plus button, and I say I want to track it all as carbs. And when you do that, it actually ends up being, I think it's like 20 or 25 carbs, I can't remember, right? So that's a big difference than the 2 grams of carbs that are posted on the side of the can. So as soon as this video is over, I will find the link to that YouTube video on how to enter it into the alcohol calculator thing, and then how to upload it into MyFitnessPal. But, like I said, it's just important. The thing that I love the most about the Faster Way is the knowledge that it brings. And so it's not an exclusionary diet. We eat carbs, right? We do carb cycle. We have low carbs on Monday and Tuesday, but we don't exclude them completely from our diet. We do choose whole food nutrition, but we still have treats on Saturday. We do encourage you not to have dairy and gluten and alcohol these first 6 weeks so that you can kind of get them out of your system. But we do teach you how to reintroduce it back into your life and to see, like, is that something that's worth me having? For me, dairy is not worth me reintroducing or having at all because of the migraine triggers that it has. There's other people that it doesn't do that to. But it's all about us learning what things have the potential to do to our bodies, and then listening to our bodies and paying attention when we do reintroduce them back into our system. Amanda is not doing a video this week. We will have one next week that we will all join in on. But again, our goal this week with our post is to really dig into the Faster Way mindset. Where they're going to talk a little bit about the scale and how it's a liar, and then digging into alcohol a little bit. So I want you to think about something that has been really successful for you the past 4 weeks, and make some time today to make sure that you're able to continue that habit. So maybe you've done a really good job at getting up in the morning and working out. Make sure your alarm is set and don't talk yourself out of it, okay? Maybe you've been getting your workout in on your lunch break. Make sure that you have a plan for getting that in. Maybe, like me, roasting veggies and some protein, chicken, for me, is my routine on Sunday. It's in the oven right now. I know, hey Jennifer, I know that if I roast my veggies and if I cook some protein on Sunday, that it's at least going to get me through Wednesday. And then I will have an opportunity then to figure out what my plan is going to be for the rest of the week. So I just encourage you to reflect on what's been successful and make a plan to continue that. And maybe what's been a struggle, what's a hiccup that you've run into, and try to problem solve and try to think through that, and try to make a plan this week to keep you from having that problem or that struggle. And if you've tried for a couple weeks now, I would love to coach you through it. Just send me a private message, or if you think it's something that everybody else has been having a hard time with, you can ask it in our group. All right, that's the end of the video. I will go find my YouTube video link about the alcohol and how to track it, and I will put it up in this group. I hope you ladies have a wonderful week. See you next time.